Mock 7, passage 4. Let us go ahead and discuss this particular passage. Now, this touches upon a theme that we've perhaps witnessed in our lives around us, right? People getting booked or court cases, FIRs, etc. filed all for cracking jokes, or going by the very first sentence here, a joke that was not even cracked, he deleted a joke. Right, and then from there it moves towards the need to establish a right to joke or laugh. And there is a precedent. There are a couple of things that the Supreme Court has managed to take out from some other fundamental provisions. So he suggested that we can take out this particular right from the right to free speech, and thereafter it devotes a lot of time on the judgment given by Justice G.R. Swaminathan of the Tamil Nadu High Court, and this essentially continues that. Okay, so here is the first question based on the passage. Which of the following must be true based on the information presented in the passage? So must be true questions can be either inference based or specific detail based. In this particular case, this turns out to be an inference based question. So let us check. A, the creation of a right to joke and laugh will solve the issue of comedians facing legal action or arrest. Well, the assumption here is that all the legal action, all the cases of arrest that they face arise out of their jokes. Hey, what if a comedian goes ahead and commits some other crime? Will this right save him from legal action or arrest in that case? No. So will the creation of this right solve the issue of comedians facing legal action or arrest? Only in those cases where the action is initiated because of a joke that they made, not in the other cases, and therefore A should be can't say. Okay, B, all jokes no matter how offensive should be protected under the right to free speech and expression. Two things. Number one, it should not be protected under the right to free speech and expression. We are proposing that we should come up with a right to joke and laugh. So not under that. And number two, the passage talks about jokes that are even in bad taste. So can I say that a joke which is in bad taste is offensive? If I believe that both of these mean the same thing, then it is true. But if I do not believe that, this may not be true. And therefore, on both of these counts, we should say, ideally, we should be can't say. How about C? The right to joke and laugh must be included as part of the fundamental duties list. Not proposed by the author. The duty to laugh was proposed by Justice Swaminathan, but the right included in the fundamental duties is not consistent with the passage, and therefore this is again can't say or cannot be determined. D, the criminalization of jokes can lead to suppression of artistic expression and democracy. Now the very first paragraph talks about how these things, just read the last couple of lines and you'd know how these things are usual for a democracy. And then of course, suppression of artistic freedom will obviously happen, because then you would think twice before cracking a joke. You'd start self-censoring. Right, and therefore I think D on the whole can definitely be termed true, and therefore it should be our answer for question number 13. So question 13, D it is. Let's go ahead and have a look at the next one. Which of the following inferences is incorrect as per the information in the passage? So once again, inference based question. Let's go ahead and apply true false can't says. So A, the article highlights a growing trend of intolerance towards humor and jokes. True. Multiple examples cited for this. B, the author believes that while some jokes may be in poor taste, they should not be considered criminal. True. The very first paragraph. C, the writer suggests that a right to joke and laugh be included in the constitutional rights to safeguard artistic freedom. That's in fact the main idea. So true. D, the author recommends that a duty to laugh be added to the list of fundamental duties. This is false. The author does not recommend it. It is the judge of Tamil Nadu High Court who recommended it. and therefore D is an incorrect inference, and we should choose that as our answer. So question number 14, D it is. Next one, 15th. Assuming the argument made in the passage is correct, that is, we need to have a right to joke and laugh. Which of the following is a necessary assumption for the conclusion that a right to joke or laugh could be extracted from the constitutional right to free speech and expression? So the author says we can extract the right to joke or laugh from the right to free speech and expression. What is the assumption? So we know that an assumption is an unstated premise, a reason that was used but has not been stated, and I'd say one of the simplest ways of identifying the correct assumption is to use the negation test. Take the opposite of your answer choice to be true and then see whether this conclusion can now be arrived at or not. So if we cannot arrive at this conclusion, it's obviously an assumption. After that, so let's look at A. People have a fundamental right to make jokes about any topic they choose. Okay, all right, but then how does A support the fact that this right to joke can be extracted from right to speech? I'm using the condensed version. When I say right to joke or laugh, right to speech is right to free speech and expression. So it is not supporting it. And even if you negate it, people do not have a fundamental right, you can still arrive at it and say, okay, we may not have that fundamental right, but we can extract it from this other right. So let's rule out A. B, free speech and expression are absolute and cannot be limited by the government. Irrelevant, right? It again does not tell us how right to joke or laugh can be extracted from right to speech. C, a joke or a laugh is an integral part of the myriad ways, myriad is various, in which human beings express themselves while interacting with others. Now if C is true, it tells us that a joke or a laugh is also a type of speech. It's also a type of expression. And because they're a type of speech and we have a right to free speech and expression, obviously right to joke and laugh would also be then applicable. So C is definitely an assumption. If you negate it, if you say it is not speech, it is not expression, then obviously you would not be able to extract it. So negation test also supports it. D, all forms of humor regardless of their quality or taste should be protected under the law. Okay, but then how can it be extracted from the right to free speech and expression? Once again, not known, and that is why the best answer for us here is option C. So 15th, C it is. And here comes the last question based on this passage. Which of the following, if true, will cast the least serious doubt on the main idea of the passage? So what is the main idea? We need to have a right to joke and laugh. We want an option which least weakens. So let us check. How about A? Right to joke and laugh led to spread of hate speech and discriminatory jokes. So if this right leads to hate speech, then we are saying that the right actually damages the society. So we should not have this right, isn't it? So A weakens, definitely weakens. B, harmful impact on marginalized communities, weakens. So A and B basically support that, hey, we should not have this right. C, artists should consider the social and cultural impact of their creations before making them. So whether it should be converted into a right or not. C says that, okay, artists should be mindful, but do we need to have a right or not? C does not affect that core question. So C in that sense is irrelevant. So can I say it does not weaken? D, freedom of expression gives individuals the right to make offensive or derogatory statements. Now if this is true and we extract the right to joke or laugh, it will give individuals the right to make offensive jokes or derogatory jokes as well, right? So offensive are still okay, but should people have the right to make derogatory jokes where they are making fun of a specific person, where they are demeaning a specific individual? That's bad, right? That's not good. And therefore, if D is true, this is going to weaken the argument, weaken the main idea. So the only one that does not weaken is C. So obviously, considering that we are choosing an answer choice that least weakens, we'd go ahead and pick up C. So for question number 16, our answer should be C, and that takes care of our fourth passage.